that maybe like Alice would be on the other side. Oh,
Okay. Now I really am liking that Marcel.
very nice. That's very nice from RRQ. I was thinking whether or not they wanted to Alice and just like Freya, so that way they don't have to worry too much about the blue.
Yep.
I'm surprised with the Hilda, but it works well with their two main damage dealers in terms of attack type.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Marcel, I think it's a great pick here.
Now you want someone that you want a hard dive comp, RQ Tora gives it to you.
And you can literally block the projectile of the flowing blood.
Yeah, like you are literally, this comp, it literally just wants to be in your face. Once they get on top of you, you just die.
Yep, they have to make some choices here. It's either they take the Kalia to deal with the Freya, or they go for the Marcel to wait out the durations. Wow, they instead of leave Glue into the support role.
Oh, I'm surprised because I was thinking maybe a Croc instead.
Honestly, I don't know how they're going to sustain the fight. That's my biggest issue. Like, the early stages of the game, it doesn't look as easy, and I think SRG is going to give up the first fruit turtles depending on the state of mid lane.
But I feel like there is an angle around it. You could pivot to get Cram ahead as possible, and he's going to be the leverage that SRG uses to scale from the mid to late.
Oh, that's hard.
It's not easy, into Alice, no.
Yeah, it really, because Alice is a great way to sandbag your opponents, if not the Uranus. It's a little 50-50 here in terms of the raw drafting power, and I would argue that SRG has the tighter win condition, because Uni needs to make things happen from the get-go as we head on in to this beautiful match of RRQ Tora facing off against SRG here on our third best of 3 of today to close out.
Welcome to the newest installation of Attack on Titans. In this case, Attack on War RRQ. And we start off with a ceremonial pause because why not? You're gonna let the audience just immerse yourself in this atmosphere, because SR and RRQ Tora have been going at it from the bleachers before the draft even begun.
Now that's how you know it's a good crowd. It's not the draft we care about, but when there are tech pauses, we need to hear their support. Make sure that the players are feeling warm constantly, because as soon as they cool down, their performance will drop. Luckily, it's a type 1 issue. We will be able to conclude it quicker. As honestly, I'm going deaf here. They are so loud.
They are, and we have the fortune of being on SRG side. Alright, I just gotta say, SRG fans, you're making these bets right now, but I wonder how many of these people who make bets keep their words, right? We need a tracker. Whenever someone holds out their phone and be like, if this team's winning, I'm gonna strip naked or something, we gotta make them do it. Maybe not strip naked, that's a crime, but if you shave your head bald, we need to see proof of that.
Honestly, if they can put it on the group, that'd be amazing. But for most of these, we can't keep them responsible here. Wait, did they come up with another chant? I've never heard of this one. That one's a little different coming in from SRG's side. Now it's starting to chill down.
I mean, a lot of the artistic banners with like pencil hand-drawn portraits of the players as well. I saw a couple from SRG's side. Look at that, SRG aura plus 10,000. That's what I need. Can I borrow that?
Oh my goodness.
Wait, I need to.
Go get it.
Later, I'll take it. He doesn't give it to me.
Get out of the
Oh, man.
Damn.
Dang it.
Can't get it. I see another one, Raja Kacha. That one's funny.
I saw him with Cram as well.
Yeah. That's the one.
That's the one?
Yup. They got so many good ones. I don't know when they got the custom prints, but I'll take it.
And didn't they win like best community like fan club or something?
They did last year, absolutely. All right, now let's jump right back into the game, and immediately, luckily we didn't get to miss out on first blood here, as both sides already coming to fast, close engagements.
It should be a pretty neutral mid lane. I mean, any lane with a 2-sin just feels slightly impossible unless you have an Eve or a Zertian to deal with it. But since Super Yoshi is on the Hilda, priority given over to Yums and Stormy.
Yup. Again, can't really do much about this, which is totally fine. Stormy just needs to make sure that he stays healthy throughout this lane. But now they're going to go 3v3 here. I'm not sure about this.
And Uni just needs to wait for the cooldowns. He's going forward. They're getting immobilization on the carry. First blood. The blink of an eye. Uni able to walk away with something.
This was such a mistake, and now it's going to get worse from this point onwards. You are not beating Clue as Leomord ever. He flickers on top of you. What are you going to do? Retry him?
And sometimes it feels like like it feels trivial, but it's such a common mistake, right? When you fight for little, you need to understand that matchup. I think we still fall into the bubble of mistaking Leomon for being really good at this contest without looking at the heroes on the other end.
Exactly. Now, I understand if you do it from long range, right? You first you'll try to get into retry range to steal it away. I think that's totally fine. But the fact is, you saw Yums at level 1, about to hit level 2. You should call it off at that point. There's literally no reason to fight unless you're specifically attacking Yums or Stormy, both of which have Flicker, by the way.
And I see the appeal of this CC already. In fact, Pram gets priority to move from the lane itself. And it's, calling attention to him from RQ Tora. Gary needs to way back into the game, so he's given the XP Pram.
Yeah, and notice how both junglers both started on the top side of the map. They wanted to end up on the bottom side just so they can maybe contest, turn the tides for the level 4s, but they didn't get anything. Now it's net neutral.
RQ Tora should be able to get his turtle, because Uni is still pretty far away, but they can go for a kill. That's the lift back. Super Yoshi needs a bit of help. Still, Stormy finds the kill, and he is out.
Dead. Nothing that Super Yoshi could do. He already flickered early on, and because of those mistakes, he gets punished for it. They don't find the trade back up to SRG. Luckily, Stormy held on to his flicker.
And the turtle boat helping SRG to clear out the mid wave even faster. So you can see this. These priorities are slowly trickling in SRG's favor. Innocent gets to move first from the goal lane. Cram did the same in the XP, and Uni, he is just having a field day taking camps away from Gary.
Yep, it was good attempt at trying to steal at least one camp, but I'm pretty sure that that Gary was able to get it. He's very, this is not correct. Gary's level 5. Why is he level 4 here?
Must be the golem that was taken away. He did lose the golem and the litho. That's
Okay.
two camps.
Okay, alright. Doesn't add up, but probably just an API thing. Probably lagged on his side. We'll see how the rest of the team actually is going to move around this map. 55 more seconds until the next turtle, and so far it's kind of a dead lane here for the EXP laners, and that's not good. Oh,
They're gonna try and go on to Kim, and Kim is dead as well. They're just feeding it into the Uni machine. Meanwhile, it's a 1v1 in top lane. Innocent forced to flicker away from Ruff.
they need to figure something out here. They can't really open up the map, and glue plus the Shushin is, you can't run away. You just cannot run away from the early damage that both of them provide.
Yep. Flicker is not that good. Purify is not that good either. It's basically a dead end.
Yeah, they close out these fights real fast, which is great, but they're not giving them enough time to actually respond.
They should kill Innocent here. He did use the flicker earlier on. Is there a response on Super Yoshi? Nope. Able to run away just in time. And with that death, it does give Gary a way back into the game.
Unlucky. Innocent actually making a mistake. It's been a very long time since we've actually seen him make a mistake, but he was unaware that the jungler was going to be there at the time, which is why he traceless in the first place. But even so, mistake is going to be what?
Right onto Kim. Use his flickers in onto top of it. The RWM as a response kills off Stormy instead. The turbo does come out though with Uni arriving, but here comes Freya. Valkyrie instead onto Uni. Uni needs to get out of this. He needs help, but he still holds on to the deadly magic, and that could be the death for Ruff. SRG hitting back with more.
Okay. Hitting back with more, and they're hitting way harder. They're hitting all the correct targets here. They're not wasting any time on Dyron at all. They don't want to waste too much time on Gary, especially when the support system around him is already collapsing.
Dyron has a Crimson Gleam out of the way. XP Crab given over to Uni as he continues to maintain an XP lead over Gary. Though this turtle take will be delayed by just a little bit. SRG willing to throw bodies at RQ Tora, but they did have to expect a couple of flickers in that previous fight. Dyron is the deadly magic. Throw the ruin to the back. Finds Uni. Uni still forced out of the way. Dyron back to full health, but maybe not for long. Gary gets the turtle, and now they need to find a way out of this. Dyron Crimson gleams away, but Yums is still on top of him. He latches on him. Innocent finds the bolt in. Dyron runs away in time as the spike fits in the two. RWM out. Cram goes down, but Yums claims Dyron.
Oh boy. An EXP trade, but the turtle still fell into the hands of RRQ Tora. And that's the important thing here, right? Because SRG, honestly, things could have gone so much worse. Dyron, I don't know whether he knew where that hat trick was from, catches Uni. Look, unfortunately, Uni doesn't die because of it, but Gary got pretty close to clearing him out.
Yep, and it took us longer than expected to kill off Dyron, so Yums was also out of the fight for a while. So there's no substantial lead for either team. dead even game in terms of net worth.
Yep. And honestly, pretty good for RRQ Tora considering everything, right? SRG are the ones who actually want to snowball. As long as RRQ Tora can actually maintain this level of aggression, and more importantly, the goal deficit, right? Don't let it break into the two to three Ks. Just keep it nice and under 100, under 1,000 even. You'll do fine in the late game.
SRG did try to go slightly more aggressive to push the envelope, but RQ Tora this time a lot more prepared to respond to it.
Okay. Still double waving coming in from Ruff at the bare minimum. They're making sure that he's getting extra gold.
Jung is going to be a constant problem. Wonder what he's building towards. Seems like it's going to be the cursed helm for now. I wonder the glowing one will be considered at some point down the road, because that has been what we saw from other glue users on the teams.
Yeah, I am curious to see what he's going to build. The same can be said about Uni, right? Because Uni can go for like a full burst build, or he can buy concentrated energy to buy himself a couple more seconds in the middle of these fights. Because depending on his build, he can either optimize himself to drag the fight, or he's looking to just find one guy, one shot, and move away.
SRG want to take that top tier one, but unfortunately Ruff was a good enough defense, and that means they might sacrifice this third turtle as well. Yoon will walk up and try to create some distance. Gary is the target, but they don't have enough output to take him down. So Gary gets the turtle, and here comes Ruff in the back line. RWM keeps him in the box. Ruff with the Valkyrie descent dives on the Stormy, as Stormy uses the Crimson Beacon to get away. Ruff flickers forward, to take Stormy down, and still finds it. But Ruff will also go down to innocent Super Yoshi a bit late as the backup, and Uni hits him with the deadly magic. They need a bit more output, and Cram will hop forward, find a yo-yo. SRG trace 2 for 2.
I see. So if Selangor Red Giants can't deal with your sustain, that's fine. We'll just chunk you out before the fight. These prolonged fights, especially with Dyron, is not part of them, become significantly harder to actually disengage. You realize now that SRG are very sticky. Look at Super Yoshi. What are you supposed to do here? Help! Help! Oh no! He just has to go back into the fight, because what other option does he actually have? And look in the back. As Ruff deals 1v4, this is a scenario that SRG has to take, right? Continuously trading against their opponents, because their ults come back way faster thanks to the deadly magic.
Not only did Jung stuck on the Super Yoshi, he was also tied down by the current call. And now he truly is dead. I don't think there's a way out of this.
He's got him.
Barbell is still, they use the RWM, but Stormy is out of there. Gary trying to will on use. Can he get the grab back up? Doesn't seem possible, but Cram is still with the current call. And Gary dashes back on the Kim, so Kim tied down for just a little bit, but SRG finds nothing.
A good disengage here. They understood that Freya was going to be a big problem as she got and closed the distance, especially with her ult. Not to mention that Stormy is missing out on his flicker. It's coming up at the same time as Ruff, because both of them traded earlier. Uni actually going for the one-shot build here. Lightning Truncheon as second item next to the Genius Wand.
This is pretty scrappy, all things considered. Both teams are just trading blow for blow at this point. With SRG taking the bottom tier 1, and RQ Tora did respond in kind. There's no clear winner just yet. I think Kim's RWM has been instrumental in keeping SRG in check.
Yep, that RWM is so good. And I think even you can tell that Kim has adjusted his playstyle. He can't afford to get caught out by people like Gooms. He can't afford to lose out his flickers. So now it's just a matter of how much can I poke my opponent without giving them a free kill. And now, is Ruff in trouble? Okay, at least there is some zoning coming in from Super Yoshi to keep him covered.
Yeah, he's actually soloing Cram too and winning that fight.
Yep. Pretty unwinnable fight for Cram. All he can do is raw sustain. He can't even outpush the Freya as the game progresses.
Yeah, with the Lord now finally on the map, it comes down to how these two teams set up. The long lane was managed by Ruff early on, so he gets to move first. And Innocent pushing out the bottom lane. But all this considered, RQ Tora, they can definitely walk into the bush first. As long as they see Yumes, they will get a good idea of where SRG might come from.
And Stormy, so far, nobody can really punish him here. Unless we see like a big engage coming in from Dyron. Most of the time, SRG is more aware of Dyron's position. He's the only one who can really ruin their odds. Kim, very understandable, has to sit far away, but SRG understands that right now isn't their time just yet.
Yeah. They have great scaling with this YSS, so there's little to worry about as long as they don't fall too far behind. But the chunking has begun. On the Super Yoshi, who will try to sustain with the bush.
I don't know how long they can sustain, especially if they're the ones tanking the Lord.
Oh, Kim, he's burning.
Lethally.
Should be okay, but they do re-engage this time on the Super Yoshi, and they found Dyron as well. The battle line from RQ Tora has been split into 3 pieces, and there's no way for them in.
Can't really get back in. And you can tell how both sides recognize that when a single death changes this fight. Even SRG don't want to take a clean 4v5, even though they forced Kim to actually recall early on.
They were hoping to get something out of him, but he still maintains his flicker. The hat trick has been used. Super Yoshi in dangerous water. It's going to be dragged back, and he's gone. But they also found Stormy in the thick of it. Grabs in the backline to try and disrupt Kim. Pops the vengeance. Finds the Yves. Dyron's in the backline disrupting SRG's form. But Dyron is low. Escapes the prison grief. As Rob now wills away. Finds a double kill. Innocent of all people gets the Lord for his squad. Yups in no man's land, and Innocent still has a turtle boat, but can he help his teammates? Seems like the answer is no. Yups will have to find his way out of this. But with Rub on the tail and Uni back up, gets hit by the knockback, but it's enough to get SRG out of it.
Yeah, I love the way that RRQ Tora is playing right now because, again, it's the amount of how much do I really respect SRG? Are we really going to let them take absolutely everything? No, they refuse to take it lying down. Super Yoshi, knowing 100%, I'm going to die here. We need to make something happen. They find Stormy in the middle of this pick. And as we see this fight drive on over to Kim's side, Innocent is outplaying Dyron, charges up and steals the Lord randomly after we see the play coming in specifically from the glue.
And as we cut back, Super Yoshi might just meet his demise again. Able to get like, some healing. There's no minute in the middle lane. The other player now comes up. They're all in the box. Dyron with the throw on the ring. Looks for Innocent. The flicker. Good enough.
Oh, this is looking tough. Now SRG is really going to struggle. They're burning battle spell after battle spell because they need to understand that RRQ Tora are pretty strong in the later half of the game as well.
Only a 1.6k goal lead, all things considered. Mid tier 2 for RQ Tora still stands. So SRG didn't really get too much out of that. And I dare say RQ Tora not behind by any means.
Yeah, they're honestly pretty dead even with SRG in a lot of aspects. Now, worst part yet is that Super Yoshi hasn't fallen behind far enough for Yups to really punish him. And both mid laners is the key to this game.
Yeah. And so far the story has been the same. Cram and Yups trying to keep Kim away, but they have no way to control Ruff. Whereas for Dyron, he's making sure that Stormy and Innocent cannot join the fight. It really boils down to who can control the enemy cores better.
Let's see how long this is going to last for. Because inevitably, being chased by SRG, it's difficult to run away from them. So RRQ need to have decisive fights. The fights need to end before it even begins against SRG.
The setup might have to come from Kim's RWM or a flicker thrown of ruin from Dyron. But there's no purify on SRG side.
Yep.
A good catch might just be means to an end.
It's about tempo, right? It's about making sure that you can keep their battle spells on CD for as long as possible. But just look at the map play here coming up from SRG side. There's no point sticking 5v5. If you're going to give us space, we'll take the space. More than happy to do so.
The good news for RQ Tora is that Innocent Sky Piercer doesn't really have value just yet because he went down twice, so not much stack is available on him. So the front lines definitely sustain a bit more. Dyron isn't in Q range just yet.
Oh, man. Yeah, just limit testing here from Uni just to know how much damage he can do to Super Yoshi in one quick burst. His ult will come back up very quickly. It's hardly no big deal. If you haven't played against it, well, you'll understand very quickly why people say he basically has infinite dashes.
Why every 10 seconds someone dies on the map in solo queue. Although priority of the Lord is given over to RQ Tora, and Dyron is in a spot that SRG can't really just walk up. So Cram will have to do it with the current call to chunk down Super Yoshi. They bring it back. Super Yoshi dies! And now the counter again comes in. That's what we've been waiting for. Ruff is absolutely decimating the back line. Innocent and Stormy stood no chance. Yups will stick onto Ruff. But with Dyron and Gary around, Uni will have to second guess whether there's a way in. Cram is also away from the rest of his team.
Yups just wasting as much time as possible. Ruff is able to out-sustain the majority of it as long as he's got War Axe and Endless Battle, so pretty tough to get by, especially if you don't have CC.
The current call, more than enough. But Cram might die. The Cyclone Knight doesn't bring it out in time. Dyron and Kim back in the fight.
50-50.
Yups and Uni, does he have the rescue? He does, but Gary good on it. And RQ Tora saves the fight. fight.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I thought that Uni might have been able to steal it there, but Gary, he's good with the red tree. Secures it, thankfully. And now RRQ Tora, finally, after taking a good amount of beatings, 13 to 14 current kill score, this is where they finally turn the tides of the gold.
And that's what we've been talking about. Just a good engage. RWM, Flicker, Valkyrie Descent. Innocent and Stormy just evaporated.
They can't breathe. They won't be able to for a good amount of time, but at least they don't have to worry about the flickers for the time being. They still have theirs. They could force another play, but there's no guarantee that they can get rough every single time.
And they have a lord to worry about as well. Ruff is genuinely becoming a big problem once he gains access to Stormy and Innocent.
Cram accidentally taking the purple buff there from Uni. No big deal. It happens to the best of us, you know. Yo-Yo Blitz can't really stop the vibes unless you move away. But for now, this very first Lord, let's see how much it really gets here. Because the most ideal is if RRQ Tora is able to break the long lane inhibitor.
And Uni, he might suffer his first death, and that's the case. Gary with a solo kill bot lane, and it comes at the worst possible moment. He's 40 seconds away from respawning, and the rest of SRD need to hold on. Mountain Shock against Yums. Yums trying to disrupt Kim. As Gary takes care of the bottom turret, Yums is looking to get away. The Mountain Shock boat keeps Yums alive. As the rest of SRG takes care of the Lord, but Gary, unfortunately, won't be able to get the turret for himself. In fact, Yums saves the structure, so all things considered, SRG hold the fort.
Nicely played by SRG, but it's not over just yet. The second wave is about to crash, and if they lose an inhibitor there, it's a clear advantage for the upcoming Lord.
Able to clear out the last remaining enhanced wave. The RQ Tora, they find a good cash. That's what we talked about the Hardy. It might be 4-0-8 before that death, but Gary can still 1v1 her.
Yep. RRQ take the safe decision. They could have walked up with the RWM and tried to get an inhibitor turret, but they don't force it. They decide to actually go back into the stalemate against SRG, who are currently at full strength and have all their battle spells. Now, Super Yoshi, he is losing value extremely quickly, and he knows it. It doesn't matter if he gets picked up, he takes barely any damage, but the vision that he has provided so far has made it hard.
Looking for Darren, the throne of rune damage reduction, enough to keep Darren alive. To lift him up, but he's out of Crimson Gleam. But the chase has begun. SRG now on the aggressive end. As Gary goes to the back line with the Phantom Steed, just get absolutely destroyed. Here comes Ruff again. He's looking for his targets. Crab faces Super Yoshi. Ruff getting duped by Uni and Innocent. Innocent traces back in. And a double kill for Crab on screen gives SRG the lead with 3 bodies.
Outplayed with Uni alongside with Innocent making diverging pass. Ruff, he needed to choose one, but they kept on switching places.
And SRG now have a chance to close this game out, but Cram gets caught by the RWM. And the siege immediately halted by RQ Tora. Gary still 15 seconds away. SRG turns to Lord.
It might not necessarily be over here. Tyron, he's got Throne of Ruin. He can buy a little bit of time.
This is gonna be close. What is SRG's choice? It seems like blitzing is not the option they want to go for. Throne of Ruin loose, but immediately dodged by Uni. He's back in the fight, but Tyron too tanky. Gary back up alive.
Yeah.
Tyron now
Yeah.
playing spoilers. Innocent force away. Lord reset.
Beautiful play. Hey, wait, hold on. Never reset it yet. Oh, no!
Oh, Gary's almost here. Gary's almost here. He's in, and it will be Uni that gets the secure.
The rumbling of the crowd. They want more. They almost get Kim. The lightning truncheon does enough damage, but man, just a couple more ticks would have been enough. Woo! What a Lord fight. Tyron could not have played that any better.
Yesterday was just a fluke, that I dare say. Because this did not feel like the RRQ that got stomped by Vamos.
Dear God, what a tight game between the two. The harder composition from SRG is now starting to make them pay the price. They have to work for every little bit of ground that RRQ gives them.
And Ruff is forced to play footsies as well with the very nimble members of SRG. They found Gary! Uni just canceled his recall. And now this is going to be tough for RRQ Tora. They need to hold the Lord. Uni is looking for Gary again. His recall gets canceled the second time. Gary can't go back home.
He's dead now. He's dead now. Gary knows it. Just buy some time. Let it happen. Just take him. Just take him. Well, 50 seconds. That is too long. That is too long. Can he 4v5? I'm pretty sure they can 4v5 in the base.
They have a minute wave down bot. They can take the inhibitor. Innocent will take care of that. The top inhibitor also go down.
Oh, no.
So has to be the greatest defense of RQ Tora's career.
I mean, they can do it. They just gotta get in there. No!
They'll try. Mountain Shocker used as vision granted. SRG. They don't really have much minute wave. Dyron able to catch a backline, but they need a follow-up. And Ruff not able to get in on it. RWM now as a response. Ruff on the Stormy. Stormy backs off. Dyron does the same. The minute wave getting managed very well by Ruff. He's so far. Ruff is now dead.
Dies, and Immortality is bought by the Harley. They look for the end game here. They look to close it out. Now that Freya is gone, Gary needs to come back in now to save the team.
A blade might have been snapped in half, but another takes his place. RRQ Tora barely clings on to life.
Woo! Best scenario possible. RRQ, they don't lose. The game doesn't end. But SRG are realizing, man, Ruff is, he's manageable. He's very manageable if you have the right heroes to kind of play footsies with him. Right now, RQ Tora just need a clean execution on the fight if they want to win this. And if they want to find it, it's going to be way harder. SRG, the fact is they nearly lost that lore. And they just needed the full reset. That's something that RQ Tora should have ensured.
Got pretty close. Dyron threw his life for that. But the good news for RQ Tora is that Ruff will be back for a potential fight here. They might not get it in time though. Super Yoshi is already gone. SRG quick on the trigger.
Clean combo here from Chushin and Glue. Set the globule up, pick him up with the lantern flare, chunk him into the globule.
And Yums is just going to disrupt Ruff. This Lord, a guarantee for SRG and Super Yoshi is 40 seconds out.
Alright, that's another Lord that falls into the hand of SRG. This should be the end game scenario that they've been looking for all game. The extra damage reduction you get by walking next to the Lord, it's going to be real hard for an RRQ Tora to win the upcoming fight unless they catch them right here, right now.
Ruff still has 15 seconds for his flicker, which is an important tool, but he might not have 15 seconds to wait. First minute wave getting cleared out. Gary onto Uri and takes him out! He gets the Winter Crown to avoid the pull from Innocence, but gets rooted by Yums. Immortality swap. Gary back up. The root misses. Tyron in! And they find Innocent in place, but Innocent tracelesses away into the fray. Tyron needs to keep it in place, but the Lord is already here. SRG! Stampede through RQ Tora in game 1.
Woo! That's game 1. That's just game 1, boys and girls. Just calm it down here. A good attempt here from RRQ Tora, but SRG finds the late game that they were looking for. Damage reduction across the board. You can see that Super Yoshi keeping the mood up here for RRQ Tora because that was one hell of a fight.
That was a good game. That was a game that even in losses, it is worth commending. RQ Tora definitely putting up one of the better fights we've seen against SRG. Something that I'm pretty sure the fans have coveted for so long.
There's nothing you can really do about it there. Once Hilda starts to fall off and Freya dies, it's done for. You've lost everything that you could possibly have. And I think that's going to be something that, at least for RQ Tora, they got to adjust. They just cannot beat SRG in a simple early to mid game composition. They need guaranteed late game scaling, and more importantly, they need easy to execute comp styles.
They need someone that can also go a bit harder on SRG, right? Something that was, I would say, lacking from RQ Tora's composition is the means to go for a hard dive. We did say that this comp can't dive, but the conditions that they need to meet are slightly situational, right? Relies a lot on Dyron, relies a lot on Kim, relies a lot on Ruff having Flicker Valkyrie Descent. The Roma, unfortunately, like you said, does fall off. But all things considered, to push SRG this far into the game, that's very, very commendable.
It was very nice coming in from RQ Tora, and it looks like they did readjust from what they learned from the last time here. Although I will say the only person who didn't get that luxury was Super Yoshi, but he still provided plenty of pressure when it was necessary. And he knew exactly what to do when it was like, I'm gonna die, I might as well throw all my cooldowns.
Yeah, before I die, this is my value, right? I've given it info. I'm gonna die in the next 3 seconds. Dyron, you take over. This is you now.
Yup. Woo. With that being said, let's give it up for our MVP of the game. Stormy here on that Shin. Phenomenal game that he played. Perfect footsies at the end. He had to do a little bit of readjustment. The early game, he did get caught a couple of times by that Freya because he got flickered on. But once he had the tempo back, he figured it out, right?
Yeah, also need to make sure that he doesn't get caught in the RWM, because then Gary will come galloping towards him, and We see the power is no more. The 2 swings of the sword is what he needs.
Yep, 2 swings to just one-shot you, man. Unfortunate. But at the same time, look at the in-game equipment, right? This is the most survivable Jushin you will see in the Land of Dawn. And, more importantly, doesn't have the Queen's Wings, not involved, right? Don't need the shield. It's all about getting just armor, natural, natural MR.
And Brace Might.
And Brave's Might, like, there's just so many things to keep this man alive.
Yeah, no wonder Ruff was finding a hard time trying to take him down and having to do the YSS on the side as well. But again, even Stormy didn't exactly have the smoothest game, right? 5 dabs, and a lot of it comes down to either Ruff gets on top of him or Kim just happened to clip him on the edge of the RWM.
Yup, it's always one of those two, but we got to see the length and depth of both sides. The decision making is there. It's these small advantages that are created during the mid game of the very first lords that really kind of set the tone of what's going to happen, right? Missing all your inhibitors, you really need a miracle to be able to steal the lord away, right? That's pretty much the only win condition you have at that point.
And they still were able to put up some sort of resistance, right?
Yeah.
Although in the end it ended up with Super Yoshi getting picked off and them losing the game, but very little teams have the competency to just explore the map when that far behind to create some sort of a threat to SRG.
Yep, and that was the way that you had to play it, right? A lot of hunting and gathering from Super Yoshi's side to make those decisions at the end of the day. But even so, right, they understood that split pushers had to be 2 people. Gary, he wins his 1v1 against Uni because Uni can't one-shot him, even at full build. As soon as he hops onto Barbiel, that's just too much stats to deal with.
Yeah, both times that Uni died was actually being solo killed by Gary. And, I mean, that's what's stopping his recall, I guess.
Understandably so. But SRG, they got to be a little nervous about this. If RRQ can play well just because of a couple of mistakes and they didn't find their timings, it really bought a lot of time for RRQ to kind of put themselves in a winning position.
Yeah, really did come down to who makes the snappier decision, right? And that's one of the points that I wanted to zoom in on a lot more when we discussed it slightly during the pre-game, which is when we compare the top teams in the league or even on the international stage, oftentimes what separates them, a good and a great team, is that a great team knows how to make snappy decisions, and SRG is incredibly good at that.
Yep, they make some really fast, even when the execution is kind of weird. Like I can see the angle, but the execution just like doesn't go the way that it needed to, and then it all breaks out and you get a free double kill from your mid laner and roamer.
Yeah, but when it works out, it looks so good, right? I mean,
It looks like it was already planned, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
we saw that from RQ Tora when they won a team fight against SRE, but we also saw how they dealt with Super Yoshi. It really felt like the connection of the abilities was they didn't have to communicate that. It was all built in.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the next upcoming game is going to be a little bit cleaner because it was extremely scrappy. Not the cleanest from both teams in the overall team fights, especially when it came down to like Uni trying to steal the Lord and kill Ruff at the same time amongst 3 RQ members. That was wild.
Yeah, a lot of the fights was just the fight starts, Uni gets chased away, Stormy runs, then Ruff was chasing 2 people from SRG, and Darren was like, "I'm here, buddy, I'm here." And then you pan the camera to the other end of the fight. It's just you.
It's just you.
He's sneaking onto someone as Patrick. You know, Kim is like, "Get it off of me."
This was quite the fun game. Quite the fun game considering that it went 23 minutes. A lot to look at here, but most importantly, it's the way that they fight, right? As 5, both sides can clearly do it. Now it's those small decisions of, hey, why didn't we use the RWM to take an inhibitor when we had the Lord the first time? Why did we make that safe decision even though there was nothing to fight over in the map?
Yeah, honestly, for someone like Kim, I thought he would have used the RWM, right? Because that felt like a Kim thing to do.
Yup. But I think they learned their lesson quickly, and they understood that they were waiting for the RWM. It's just that game of rock, paper, scissors that SRG puts you in, right? They put you in this deadlock of like, you better choose the right one because as soon as you show rock, paper, or scissors, we're gonna instantly respond.
Yeah, they make you hesitate sometimes, and hesitation does kill. But all things considered, when the fight breaks down into different parts and the battle line gets completely scattered, you can bet that all of the members know their individual tasks, right? And I think at that point, communication is secondary. It comes down to the mechanical prowess, and everyone show what they're capable of.
Yep, I think the only adjustment, and it's a very slight adjustment, they gotta switch out Super Yoshi. They can't get him on this Hilda anymore. They need to put him on something that can actually open up a map, especially against the glue. If not, you might as well just straight up ban it.
Yeah, it's someone that can do the set, right? And luckily enough, this is not the only game where the small difference of having a Roman that can do a setup makes the difference.
Yeah, and by no means is it wrong for Super Yoshi to actually go onto this hill, but because of this hill, they were able to not only get the power picks, but find a composition that synergizes with or without him.
Yeah, and Super Yoshi is probably, it's either him or Darren as a sandbag because they were absorbing so much pressure. But then when the fight goes in their favor, this is all the result. Very snappy. Stormy and Innocent, they had to play a perfect game to not get caught by RWM, not get ran over by Barbell, and not have Rough on top of them.
Yep, a lot of things could have gone wrong from SRG, and yet they prevailed at the end of it. A lot of good fights overall. Even when it didn't seem like it was looking good for RRQ Tora, they managed to, salvage the scenario most of the time. A lot of it, obviously, coming in from Rob being able to flicker on his opponent, because as soon as he can flicker on him, you can see just the dashing between him, over him, under him, like everywhere. They are just outmaneuvering him.
And then a lot of times he's alone, and then you look on the other side of the map, it was Kim getting chased away with his RWM still available, but no chance to use it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. All of these small little tempo breakers, making it difficult for RQ to get the perfect execution.
Yeah, honestly, this fight, I thought Ruff was about to do it, but Stormy has other plans. Picks him up, throws him away. But SRG almost certain to win that game with a Lord that healthy.
Yeah, a Lord that healthy, and not to mention that Innocent was playing a pretty decent game despite the one mistake that we've seen from him for the past year, I think. It depends on how you look at it. But with that being said, we want to thank to everybody watching the show right now from across the world, whether in Malaysia or outside Malaysia. We want to thank you for helping us break our PCU.
Wow, we broke the PCU for the playoffs of last season.
Season 16, baby! So please come on over to watch Game 2 onwards, then double up on this PCU, because every single time we hit another PCU goal, you guys get rewards.
Yo, Rashi, bring the Kingdom over right now.
Come on, Kingdom. If you're not having a good time there, come over here. They need their support. They're 0-1 right now.
I'm pretty sure your series is over. Move here.
Come on. I don't know if it's actually over. We're guessing. we're making random guesses. We have no clue. They could have won for all we know.
Yeah, they could have won. I mean, I said it's over. I didn't say they lost.
Technicalities at its finest. But that being said, how far off are we from... Oh, actually, not that far off considering everything, right? 177, more or less.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to set a PCU record this high because now we gotta work harder for grand finals this season.
Playoffs is gonna be something that hopefully it doesn't clash with any of the other MPLs, because I mean, if we're clashing with like ID or DH, it's kind of over for us. But either way, the ones that we do want to shout out is new to the region. Thailand, of course. MSL Thailand 2026 is coming here, and right now you can technically watch both Mpl My and MSL Thailand at the same time, so don't miss out on learning on some of these newer teams who may show up during MSC 2026.
Yeah, there are certain times where I tune into live stream and I see the same account on different live streams, so this is another chance for you to utilize your multitasking ability with the regular season of MSL Thailand on your screens right now. 5 weeks of non-stop action and some familiar Thailand organizations in esports. Some established one like Buram United, Full Sense, Bacon Time. But on top of that, we also have a lot of import players that are playing in MSL Thailand. A lot of familiar faces that you definitely have seen before.
Exactly. So if you think that you're going to be completely lost watching the MSL, don't worry. There are still recognizable things. Hopefully their meta looks better than ours, Sometimes I wonder that. Sometimes I wonder if the average base game at MSL Thailand is naturally better than some of the games that we have here besides the highlight games.
That would be fun because they get a slot to MSC 2026, right? So they could pose a challenge with my limited opportunity of casting Thailand teams. They have some interesting ideas. You can see it come together, but they do need some polishing, and that was prior to MSL Thailand. So this is a very good opportunity to shape the region.
Yep, so you guys better tune on in. Make sure that you're aware that Thailand, whatever their meta is going to be, whatever their playstyle is going to be, expected during MSC 2026. Although, coming into game number 2 here, the big question comes down to what exactly is the adaptations going to make happen? But before we go into that, We did get a word with the one and only Kuja, of course. We got Moji at the helm, giving a little bit of a chat with him. Let's quickly jump on over.
Anda kembali bersama saya Poji dan juga orang yang kuat di dalam scene e-sport ni sendiri, Kuja. Apa khabar Kuja?
Hai, Alhamdulillah, sihat.
Alright Kuja, kita nak menghimbau kenangan sekejap
Boleh.
9 tahun lepas Kuja pernah bermain di MSC dan masa tu ada kumpulan IDNS. So Kuja ada tak apa-apa sejarah ke, pengalaman ke bersama dengan pasukan-pasukan diorang?
Okey, IDNS short form dia, dia punya full name dia adalah I Do Not Sleep.
Tak tidur?
Memang tak tidur. Memang kita orang bersama-sama dulu main rank sama-sama dekat rank waktu tu. Memang berkawan rapat lah dengan orang.
Tu memang ada sejarah juga lah, pernah main
Memang
sesama.
sangat rapat dengan orang.
Bertanding sama-sama.
Bertanding bersama-sama dan masa dekat Indonesia waktu tu pun memang kita orang banyak keluar sama-sama pergi makan semua.
Diorang champion?
Diorang champion.
Hebat IDNS.
Betul.
Tapi IDNS ni tim daripada Thailand. Kuja tahu tak sekarang ada MSL tu, MLBB Super League yang baru buka dekat Thailand.
Serius tak?
Serius. Kuja ada tak apa-apa macam pendapat untuk scene yang baru dibuka dekat Thailand ni?
Okey, sebenarnya saya happy lah untuk komuniti dekat Thailand sebab diorang dah berpeluang untuk bertanding secara lebih kata apa, agresif atau lebih aktif. Dan untuk kawan-kawan saya dekat sana yang mana yang pernah bertanding pada zaman-zaman dulu diminta untuk kembali semula sebab kita orang rindukan IDNS yang lama. Dan of course ada beberapa player masih aktif dan saya mengharapkan diorang terus sukses kat sana lah. Dan ini adalah peluang yang terbaik untuk komuniti Thailand untuk bangkit dan tunjukkan balik kekuatan diorang semasa MSC yang pertama.
Faham. Maksudnya diorang pun ada kehebatan dan kelebihan masing-masing.
Betul, sebab kalau saya rasa diorang lebih ke arah mekanik lah sekarang sebab kita sekarang lebih ke arah makro punya playstyle. Diorang masih start dekat mekanik. So mungkin diorang nak kena improve untuk mekanik untuk makro punya playstyle untuk compete dengan kita orang lah.
Sebab soalan saya yang ketiga, saya nak tanya Kuja, apakah bagi Kuja yang Kuja nampak perbezaan paling ketara di antara playstyle untuk Thailand dan juga Malaysia?
Okey, macam yang saya cakap tadi adalah saya rasa diorang mekanik kita lebih kurang sama sebab bagi saya majoriti mekanik punya user memang tak jauh beza. Cuma makro je yang menentukan macam mana kita nak bawa game plan dan gameplay kita tersendiri. Dan saya rasa Thailand disebabkan dia baru aktif untuk MSL, betul? Untuk season yang pertama, saya rasa diorang kena lebih fokus pada makro untuk nak bersaing dengan region-region yang lain. Dan saya mengharapkan korang sukses.
Okey, tapi kan bila macam Kuja cakap ada tengok kawan, diorang pun nak buka liga yang baru. Kuja, tahu tak? Ada juga info yang menariknya. Untuk MSL kali ni kan, champion dia kita akan hantar pergi ke wildcard untuk EWC.
Wow, tahniah. So directly dapat terus wildcard
Directly dapat.
Wow.
So untuk benda ni sendirilah, adakah Kuja rasa adalah satu benda yang bagus untuk scene diorang dan juga untuk fan diorang secara menyeluruh?
Okey, of course benda ni memang sangat bagus untuk komuniti Thailand seperti saya cakap tadi. Cuma bagi saya lebih happy untuk Mobile Legends sendiri sebab dia telah membuka lagi besar cabang-cabang di serata dunia dan saya mengharapkan lebih banyak lagi negara-negara lain yang terlibat untuk kita besarkan dan kita majukan komuniti ini bersama.
Baik. Itu saja daripada saya. Anything nak shout out kepada kawan-kawan IDNS kalau diorang tengah tengok benda ni?
Okey, untuk IDNS yang semua nama ZZ kat belakang, mungkin saya tak ingat sangat lah. Mungkin saya ingat cuma Amzi dan Frame DZ, saya tak ingat lah. Tapi memang kalau tengok muka saya memang kenal. Saya mengharapkan korang come back. Dan untuk komuniti Thailand, all the best. So sekarang you guys ada platform yang sangat-sangat baik untuk you guys tunjukkan bakat. Dan saya mengharapkan korang terus maju jaya ke hadapan. Dan jumpa di international. Good luck guys, all the best.
Terima kasih Kuja. Itu saja daripada saya dan Kuja. Kita jumpa sekejap lagi.
Sawadee.
And there you have it. Words from an interview from Oji and Kuja. For those who didn't understand, Kuja actually part of the IDNS run when it happened. He was close to those boys. Very, very close indeed. Really goes to show how deep our Malaysian roots go, even though we weren't sitting at the top or somewhere close to the top prior to M1.
Yeah, the Kuja you knew came from Toda. The Kuja they knew was IDNS. Man, it's been so long.
Dude, I'm thinking about it, like how far back can I call Kuja's teams? RSG.
Yep.
Wasn't he part of... I want to say he was part of X-Pac's Assassins at some point.
It could be. Hold on a minute. Was it Craft's birthday?
Oh!
Belated birthday?
Hey, how come we're not being informed about this?
Oh, and these fans know how to gather intel.
They know how to gather intel. They're way deeper into this than we are. At the very least, teams have been very tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, they have been. No, today is actually our cameraman's birthday.
Yeah, big shout-outs, big shout-outs. obviously, as we see the days go by, we're expecting more people's birthdays to come on through. Question is whether or not they get the little special surprise here at MPL Arena.
5,000 diamonds for you.
And it's just, here you go. Can we name anybody who can actually give those 5,000 diamonds if they do happen to come into the arena? You know what? Let me just look around and see if any important people that I can annoy unnecessarily. You know what? Bother Simon about it. Bother Simon about it. If it's your birthday, go ask him for 5,000 diamonds.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. They just
Yeah.
lost it. They lost early on. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. That'll be a better time. You still remember everybody's a human being. You know, ask them at your own discretion. But it's time to start jumping back into the left. God damn it!
Whoa, I'm too good at it.
He's back on it. He's back on it. You've got the series down. Both predictions correct. But let's see the draft itself, because we're seeing that Sasa is opting to get rid of Fanny alongside with the Freya this time round.
So don't even want to make any trade. Sasa doesn't take any prisoners. No bargaining chip for you.
Does that mean that they're going to give away any other power breaks? I mean, Sora is banned out. The Valentina is like not as good now until you see a clear ultimate.
I do see the one pick we haven't seen for quite a while, at least I think this week, was the Farsight. I don't think we've seen Farsight yet. The Kalea ban.
Kalea, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. I'm fine with that for now. Maniac by nature. Oh my god. Innocent by name. That's so good. Why did I think of that?
Y'all should sign up for like the next English audition. We need talents like these.
I am genuinely upset that I didn't think of that for
Right.
slogans to give him. God damn it.
Join the creative team. We need you guys.
Damn, that's so smart. That's so smart. I can't stop thinking about that now. All right, Kalea gets banned out here. We go back to RRQ Taurus side, and they need a response because Zushin is still on the table, and that's what cucked them in game number 1. They banned out the Uranus instead.
And the Juicing is now open.
Okay, I think it's okay. Because at least now that you don't have to worry about the Sora, the Valentina is not going to be up for trades on the opposite end. If we do see Jushin, there should be a Yves on the opposite side.
And you can't go Juicing glue on blue side in the opening. You get one. The Juicing seems to be the juicy one.
Yoink the glue.
Take the glue.
That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to be like, whatever, we can do whatever we want in the mid lane anyways. We just need to make sure that Yves has options.
That is true. The Gwyn is also still up.
Oh, you're right. The Gwyn is still up. What am I talking about? Oh boy, what's the priority here? Hey, maybe this gives us a bit of a tier list of what SRG thinks, you know? Is it Jushin over Glue or, you know, going straight into the Gwen? Where are we at here with them?
Have done it once. It's the Gwyn.
Okay. Jushin Glue. It's gotta be Jushin
It has to
Glue.
be Juicing glue, right?
It's gotta be. Unless SRG are like, I'm ready to whip out the farmers today.
Or they could Juicing Marcel.
They can wait on
They can
it.
wait on Marcel.
Yeah, they can wait on Red 3, Red 4.
Just go like
necessary.
Juicing glue, why not?
Keep it safe, keep it sanitary, you know? You don't really care where the Guinevere is going because you will be able to punish it. And now what does SRG do? Sorry. No.
You
They can't
go
go for that.
Yi.
I mean, it feels like you have to go for the Yi, but then what do you do with this glue anyways? It's still the same problem. So it's either you go Yves Khalid to match up with damage, Yves Cho as a means to maybe potentially have 2 ways to enable a pick-off to happen. If they want a team fight,
I'll do it the Vamos way. Give carry.
wait, let me look at the bans. They banned out the Uranus. There's still Alice to worry about. I don't necessarily.
Oh, Lilia Claude.
What?
That does deal with the Wait, when you black shoes, does glue follow you if he's on you?
Yes, he does.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
It does kind of blow. Actually, wait a minute. Wait. Let me think about this for a moment.
One thing we learned yesterday was that glue gives you big vision.
Yeah,
Big vision.
I don't know if that is intended or not. It looks a little jank. I will not lie. I saw you guys testing it out.
Yeah.
I saw the videos. It looks jank.
And the vision range is not just around the glue, it's everywhere around the glue. So you can see full bushes with that.
Yep.
Diamond learned the hard way.
Yep. It's not like Jushin where you have to check out the entire bush with the lantern.
No,
you just need one shadow ball in there.
Yep. just leave your children there and then they'll do the scouting.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why go for Lilia here? Like, no matter what, it's going to be awful for you. You try to get the gloom stacks on, glue gets on top of you. If you take Purify, it's over, because as soon as you Purify once, then Jushin just ults on top of you.
That's true.
I don't see the value of his Lilia just yet, other than just to punish the glue. But even prior to that, the laning phase is kind of dead, unless you've got, like, again, I was hoping that P2 was going to be a support pick.
I mean, they have the Gwyn as a flex, right? So that's sort of like their way out of this.
That's true. I didn't think of it.
But the Kali gets banned out, so the Sasa is reading into that. One of the priorities. So no Cho, no Kalea, no Kali. I mean, Hilda naturally comes up next on the list. Hilda, Marcel, what's left? Gatot.
I think... Oh, did they even bother banning out Marcel?
Probably not, honestly.
Not yet, at least. There's no, like, clear indication that they need to go for the Marcel, other than to, like, stop the magic come from Guinevere. But even then, as soon as Guinevere is in the pit, there's no beating it.
Definitely need someone to help the Guinevere with the damage output. Lilian needs time to ramp up. And their goal laner is already a Claude.
I'm thinking whether they want to go back into the Alice one more time, but they can't guarantee it at the very end. Knowing Crab with no clear ways to punish his opponents, Jushin, I think he might end up...
He might pick CC again. There's one pick that no other players have picked, which was the Terizla. Crab does play a Terizla, but maybe not into this comp.
I don't think he goes to Rizla into this comp. He
Yeah.
already struggles against the Jushin, and there's no guarantee he can get on top of Yishin as long as he has the Traceless, right? Yeah, ban out the Arlet, that makes the most amount of sense here. For Sasa, he actually... It depends on how Crab is feeling. If he goes blind and says, give me Yuzhong, I'll just chase the back line, I think that is a fair argument.
Maybe Yuzhong or Lapu, right? Maybe
Yuzhong or
Yuzhong.
Lapu.
Yeah, Yuzhong's probably the better option.
I think, unfortunately, Lapu just doesn't fit the build right now if you're going blind. Yuzhong, yes, it's high risk, but at the very least, it makes Yishin's life miserable. And, well, to a certain degree, Jushin, but that really depends. Wow, they're really maximizing the time here.
Yeah, the last ban, so there's the Eastern Shin, so banning gold later doesn't feel exactly the best. So they're gonna ban out the Alice, which I do like.
Very good here. Limited down. All the big fat tanks are out of the way. No more sandbags there. So it has to be a volatile laner.
This is also one of the few matchups that we have Malaysian coaches going head to head. The three big, right? Sasa, Long, Becky. Are we missing anyone else?
Sinhan as well, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any we've missed out on accident. I feel so bad if I'm missing out on Malaysian coaches. I'm so sorry.
Can't think of anyone else for now.
It's not coming to mind, but the blind pick hardly is going to be the case, and Yishin has been confirmed to go gold.
Yep. And if you're having doubts about the Harley, I don't blame you, but that was yesterday's story. They're gonna give Gary a third chance on it. Reassurance from Sasa too.
It's just got to be confident, right? It's about reaction time more than anything else. If you got the reaction time, you'll never get hit by anything on this Harley.
Just one shot, the million.
Yeah, just one shot. It can't be that hard, right?
They have a Lilia, they have a Claw, what can they do?
Boy. They need single target lockdown from the side of RRQ, though. I think that's, like, the only thing that they're missing to round out this comp.
Like, who is more in need of the Gwyn? I feel like you might give Uni the Gwyn here and go for a Roma instead.
I feel like Cram has to make the sacrifice here.
There's a Yuzong. Oh no, that's the Phobias.
Yeah, he's sacrificing his lane to get he's sacrificing the lane to get the Suyo. He's willing to do it. Which I appreciate.
Alright, all hinges on Uni again.
Just get, wait. Cho's banned out, Kalia's banned out. Are there any other single target? No, Selena doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Tigreal,
Kaja, Grok.
Kaja and Grok aren't too bad. I think arguably Kaja here, because you're already running the Harley as well as running the Jushin.
Or Marcel.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, it's
not the worst.
Zone control won't be as easy this time, though.
So they take the Hilda again.
Ooh, I don't know about the Hilda. Wait.
With the Harley and Drusin, they do get priority in their side lane. In the glue lane, at least.
They get it. Yeah, they get it off of the blue lane. The quad lane is a net neutral. The mid lane is dependent whether Yums actually lands the magic stuff at level 1. If he hits it at level 1 and forces out a battle spell, they've won the lane. Man, this one's a tough one. I really don't know. There are some clear strengths and weaknesses on both sides. And this Phoveus, I'm questioning whether it's going to be enough from the Selangor Red Giants to buy the time that they're looking for. There's not many dashes on the side of RRQ. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there's actually 4 dashes, all of which are on high cooldowns except for the Traceless.
Yeah. And not only that, once he gets knee deep into the water, there is no way back out. So let's see if SRG can close it out cleanly against the Kingdom as we hop into game number 2. SRG on that blue side, Naruto Tora on red.
Dang. Should they have changed the order to get Super Yoshi something better? They already set up for Dairon, right? They had that flex pick. It was either going to him or Super Yoshi, and unfortunately, this is what we get. Oh, there we go.
Yep, there it is.
And the lane's done.
Well, even triggered the lethal edition as well.
Yo, yo,
Kim,
yo!
Kim, really playing on the edge.
Oh my god, they managed to zone him off from at least 1 minion, which is good enough, but Stormy, I was thinking that he starts like shifting the attention onto Super Yoshi so they can at least contest 3v2 here on the Little Wanderer.
And they help Uni get the litho too. Yum's doing a fantastic job.
That's wild. I'm surprised that they got that. I'm really surprised. I thought that retry came from Gary, it came from Uni apparently.
And it's broken wall, so good times for the Suyo.
Yeah, does mean an early invade though coming in from Gary. Very smart of him recognizing that, hey, if he contested for the Little Wanderer, that means he didn't do a full clear.
Yep. And he doesn't have retribution to take that cam away from me anyways.
All he's got to do now, take the River Crab. Oh, actually, is it worth taking the River Crab? I kind of feel like he's got to give that over to Dairon. Yep, there we go.
Now Dairon gets a head start. That should speed Arcutora up just by a little bit. Not significant enough to affect the turtle fight, but does give Gary and Dairon a bit more of a priority.
Yeah, look at this setup here by Stormy. He has control and vision of both sides because of the gloom.
Yeah, and have Yums on the other end of the bush as well. Bottom lane, wave frozen closer to Innocent's side. So SRG, despite not having the priority per se, they do have enough info where Arcutora is at.
Dude, this has to be a bug, right? Like, this can't be real. Like, every mage got readjusted so they don't get insane vision over the brush. Why does Lilia get the exception?
Yeah. The only mages that have that luxury that has a cost to it. That's a purify out from Kim. They were still coming out of him though. Kim gets lifted up. Is it enough? Doesn't seem like it's Stormy with the first blood. Does have the black suit to work with. Rob comes in with the boat. Crab is going to eat all of it out of the passive. Fuels it back out with the ultimate in front of first blood, but he gets pulled underneath the turret. And it'll be Dairon taking the kill, but Innocent is in. Finds one of his own. Super Yoshi goes down. Uni back in. Dairon knocked out. The combo almost perfect, but Dairon escapes. Yums makes it out with his life. And SRG gets 2.
How do they coordinate that? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's calm down here. You ain't getting him just yet, and you're stopping his recall to deter Gary from committing harder.
And Stormy with the clutch regenerate saves himself the flicker.
Can we get how much damage Stormy did in that fight alone? Like, that was an insane amount of damage. I mean, this is a guaranteed kill because we know that he doesn't have Purify anyways, but Stormy coming up big time in that level one, in that first initial engagement to net themselves 3 kills.
Or, top of that, SRG got the turtle. Amidst the chaos.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's very hard to keep up with the action, especially with how like chaotic SRG are interchanging, and most importantly, they're whipping out the signatures that a lot of top teams have: the pushing and pulling. If all your focus is on one guy, then swap him out with somebody who's fresh, and you just keep on doing that until you win the war of attrition.
Yeah. So aside from Cho, Guinevere is also one of the highlight makers for Yums. I mean, first series against Famos, he already had one of the best plays of the season already.
He's having the time of his life. He is very accurate with it, and he has yet to give it up. Performed terribly for the time being. Both sides taking a breath. Oh no, unlucky.
Saved by the Cyclone 9. Yums needs to wait for his cooldown.
Oh no,
He's
oh
Deadly
no.
Magic. He's still healing up, but most likely gonna go down. Super Yoshi claims that kill.
That's so unlucky, dude. That's so unlucky. You land everything just for the Cyclone Eye to say, nah.
I'm so Kingdom.
I'm so Kingdom right now. They should have... Cyclone Eye accepts just the RQ logo.
Yeah. Now that The Lilia is slowly coming online. Things working towards the. Where's the glowing one first. Second turtle under attack. I think Uni has priority. Super Yoshi chases Stormy away. Cram finally makes it into the fight. Stormy, unfortunately, forced out of it. Turtle down low. Gary easily secures the objective. Now BMI used by Innocent, but he's slashed on by Dyron. Dyron forced off, but Stormy will still go down to Super Yoshi.
Oh, but they're doing well. SRG can keep fighting for days. Just because Stormy is done doesn't mean Cram is. And Uni, despite everything, unable to get remotely close to the turtle this time round. Not an ideal fight, but hey, take the best that you can get. You still have a 400 gold lead. In terms of EXP, you're slightly behind Gary, but that's only because you just got that turtle.
Cram is ahead of in experience. Something good for a change despite having one death. Everyone else on the side of SRG maintaining whatever net worth that they have.
Oh, it looks like Gary opted to go for a concentrated energy first item. So he understands, right? He's going to be in and out of these fights a lot. And he might just hold on to his ult a little bit longer than he probably should. Innocent, good ult against Ruff, zoning him out. But they already see, thanks to the Mountain Shocker, the 3 members that could potentially collapse.
Ruff needs to stay around and has Super Yoshi to back him up. Make sure that this structure stays up. If Innocent gets free from this lane, it's going to be quite a headache for Arcutora. Even for cross-map plays, both teams have the heroes to do that, respectively.
Not ironically, both compositions kind of want to do very similar things, with the only big difference is the fact that SRG, because of Guinevere, actually has single target lockdown. Arcutora, they depend heavily on information gathering and cutting you off at key supply lines and rotational paths. That's why you see them trying to hover around the tri-brush, the mid-brush, just keeping control of the general no man's land known as the river.
And as the front lines of Arcutora get some more resistance, the Guinevere cash into a one-shot potential is gonna go down, as they don't really have that burst damage, right? They need to ramp up with the Gloom. Uni also needs to get through his spell rotation. They don't really have artillery like a Feather Airstrike or a Greater Depth Sonata. So the odds of Arcutora getting completely vaporized does decrease by a bit in this mid-game phase until critical mass gets achieved by SRG.
Yeah, they need a bulk discount here. Oh, hold on. They're fighting for space.
Oh, and he was very deep in. Ruff was found out. Now falls in the turtle board. Crab is just gonna go to the back line. Super Yoshi forced to flicker away, and now Innocent comes in with the blazing duet. Super Yoshi just back in, but Stormy claims the kill. Crab drags Dyron's back, but Arcutora have lost one of the front lines.
They can't do much about this. Dyron has to do a lot of the heavy lifting, but Cram seems to be holding his ground pretty fine. Kim looking to shake that position right now, but even Innocent is trying to look for space on the side.
Doesn't have the blazing duet, but he's still fairly healthy, and Cram is just gonna full send it. Disengage and misses the knockup, and Cram will take over that space. Dyron looking for room back in, and Kim also taking some significant punishment as SRG wrestle their way to get control of the objective, and Gary stood no chance. SRG walks away, but Dyron wants to look for a chance. Nope, RQ calls it.
Yep, in these types of contests, it's quite difficult for Gary to win a majority of them, right? But Uni, he's able to get these. Even without the retribution, the Soul Sever does a good chunk of damage, and they bursted it at the same time, which is the most important thing. If you can burst it down at the same time, you never lose an objective.
Innocent is completely untouched as well. All the times he comes in with the blazing duet, doesn't even have to think of expanding the flicker. He always finds the route in, and Uni continues to get a bit of a minuscule lead. Still, SRG might be 2k ahead, but none of their members are too far ahead of Arcutora. It's evenly spread out in terms of net worth. They use the Violent Requiem onto Super Yoshi, looking to blow him up. Super Yoshi goes down to Innocent.
And this is the problem. This is the same problem as game number 1. They have nobody to really open up this map, and whoever can is just too high priority if things fail. And now Ruff, he can't double wave anymore, and he's just stuck in this lane.
Stuck in the lane and needs Super Yoshi to bail him up every now and then. If the wave crashes in, they really want to hold on to the turret, which gives space to Uni to start exploring the map of Arcutora. Does see Gary, so no attempt there from RQ.
Yeah, he has to clear one more wave, unfortunately, but down by bot side, you can see that SRG have set this up perfectly.
Nothing that Arcutora can do. This tier 1 will go down. Dyron was going to do his best, but he now will be forced to soak out the punishment. Dyron just disappears. And the turret still goes down.
Nicely done. Nicely done by SRG. They pushed out the mid lane. They pushed out the top side. They send everybody down for a full rotation. And in case Yulbis catches anybody, they have the numbers and the damage to make it count. Enchanted Talisman finally purchased by Stormy. These fights, if they drag out too long, he's just gonna melt people one by one. And Super Yoshi, he's taken so many shots.
Yeah, he's the punching bag. He is forced to take the beating. And it only gets worse if SRG gets further ahead.
We'll find out here because right now